You are beautiful in every single way, and words can't bring you down. So don't bring me down today. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Really Though. I'm your host, Cookbook. I ain't been here in a while, but I tell you what, I'm always gonna be represent. Always represent, really though. Always chasing chips, come on, represent. Always represent, really though. Really though, Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the show. This is Really Though, and this is me, Jason P. Soto, Jason Phillips Soto. Cookbook the PR, Cookbook the Puerto Rican. Your Puerto Rican homeboy, your only Puerto Rican homeboy if you're from the West Coast. I'm here to represent. I'm here to talk about how to chase them chips. Yo, you might have noticed that Really Though hasn't been here in a while. That's because we made a little change. Since I got Stereotypes now, which is a weekly show that's actually on the air, that was taking a lot of my time. And instead of doing whack episodes of Really Though with whack guests and whack production, I decided to go monthly. So I'm going to release one Really Though episode a month and 4 Stereotype shows a month. But since I post them all on the Really Though feed, you're still getting 5 releases through Really Though per month. So you get 1 a week and then 1 Really Though bonus episode per week. So I'm still representing, still chasing chips. Man, I'm really excited. I got new music coming out with Flynn from LA Symphony. Me and Flynn Adam was in the lab and we cooked up some crazy heat. I love it because it's literally light years apart from a whole new cook, man. It's like completely different. It's like really pop feeling stuff, man. And it's just dope because I get to show like my full range, everything I do. So you're gonna start seeing videos, singles, and that shit's gonna drop really soon, like probably August. We're still gonna set a date, but I'll let you know when that date is. Anyway, let's get to the guest of the show. Today I got my homeboy Kamal on the show. You might know him as Radioinactive. He's been in the Shapeshifters. He was originally in Log Cabin. He did a project with Busdriver and Daedalus. And yeah, bro, he's on the show today, man. And he's always been fearlessly creative with his music. Really creative, innovative videos, man. Sometimes people think certain aspects of him are an acquired taste. I've always been a fan of his music, a fan of him as a person. When I was really young and rapping, I met him and the homies from Log Cabin, and I was heavily influenced by him. Like, you hear how I talk now, you hear how I rap now. This is how I really talk and how I really rap. If you heard me rap back then, I pretty much sounded exactly like him and Eli, because those two dudes super influenced me when I was trying to basically learn how to rap. Anyway, he's on the show today because he's had a successful run as a musician, but more than that, he's had a successful run as a businessman, as a producer. He's worked in the music industry behind the scenes for well over 15 years now, and he's made a lot of money. So I wanted him on the show to let you guys know how shit can really be done in front of the camera, in front of the mic, and behind. So let's get to it, y'all. This is Really Though. Yeah.
Really though.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Really Though with your host, Cookbook, me, your homeboy. And today I got a special guest, a special treat. One of my old school homies, man. You guys have heard my stories. You already know about the cook. You know about your big brother, Cookie. You know about my life, my travels, my journeys. And one of those pathways led me to a crew called Log Cabin, which was created in my garage. And one of the very creators of that crew is sitting right next to me right now. He's a friend of mine. His name is Kamal, but you might know him as Radioinactive. Say what's up to the people, man.
What's up to the people?
What's up to the people, man? Yo, man, you guys, see, you don't understand, man. I do this show for you. I try to give you success principles. I try to give you all these good mind states. but I'm giving you guys my history, man. I'm literally giving you guys my life with the people that I bring on here, the guests that we have, like my man right here. This is my life. This is like my youth. This is everything that I used to do, man. People don't know that, man. Tell them about our old days, man. Say something, man. Tell them something, man.
I used to ride the bus over to Cook's house because he was the only dude I knew who had a sampler. See, back in the day, you know, you had one homie that would have a sampler, a beat machine. Way before
that became
computers.
Your best friend.
Yeah, so me and a elusive producer would find samples and bring them over on cassette tapes,
vinyl.
We put the cassette player into high speed dub, so you get more sampling time.
I don't know if you remember this. I had like the Techniques. I had the Gemini mixer, which had a sampler in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be able to pitch shift in that sampler. So I would sample from the record into the Gemini, speed it all the way up, and then sample that, sped up sample. So it would be the record on 45 plus 8, then sped all the way up in the Gemini into the SP1200, and then slowed way back down. So the sample sounded like shit.
Gritty.
But we didn't care because we were trying to, A, save sample time, and B, we were on that underground shit, man, right?
Yeah, I mean, Cook had a whole, like a hip-hop clubhouse in the back of his house.
I know, man.
He had records, a sampler, microphones, a bunch of posters, and it was cool.
It was exactly
Good
what you
vibes.
said, a hip-hop clubhouse.
Mom and Dad were there.
Barbecues, bro, freestyle sessions.
Oh, man, snacks.
That's all it was, man. That was like, but that's how I grew up, even before I knew you guys. It was like, there's always that musical element and like that backyard barbecue element to my life, and those two always mix. So it made perfect sense that like when I started doing hip hop, that just blended right in. Like, let's cook some burgers, let's freaking freestyle, let's make some beats. It was like,
remember when hip hop was fun?
Yeah, bro. We used to do fun shit like eat a hot dog, man, and do some rap music.
Remember that summer when homeless people went crazy?
Nah, what are you talking about?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was waiting for like a good story. Like, what happened, man? Well, anyway, tell them a little bit of your history, man. Like anything you want, like from your birth or like music, whatever you want. Let them know the cruise you've been in, just so people can kind of get reacquainted with you.
Yeah, I was born in L.A. C-section. It's not a gang related. It's when you don't make it out of the Play-Doh factory of life and they have to cut you, pull you out. Anyways, my mom was in labor for 72 hours.
Good Lord, you really took it back.
I wasn't good.
C-section, cuz. Yeah. That sounded like you were bagging up.
Yeah.
I come from the C-section. Yeah. You know where that is, right?
I came out with the Crips lips on, cuz. Popped out on Hoover and 54th, like what?
Like what up, though? Selling dime sacks already.
Anyways, my pops was a drummer, and I grew up with a bunch of records in the house, and I played the clarinet when I was in elementary school.
Tight.
Then I was a b-boy too, so I was
breakdancing, tight,
breakdancing, all that kind of stuff, and it led to music and rapping in the locker room, banging on tables at recess, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like, the classic rap story, right?
Actually, my first, I was in the Gifted and Talented education program.
Of course you were.
Right. So my first experience rapping performing was we had to create a utopian society. And this girl, Nikisha, she rapped in French, and I rapped in Pig Latin.
Oh, come on,
and we had
bro.
splatter paint shirts. And that was my first rap.
Is that the first rap you ever wrote? A Pig Latin rap?
Yep.
Damn.
I wish I could remember.
I was about to ask you. Spit 2 bars of it, like Ixnay on the mixtape, mixtape on the flick day.
Hey, but we came with the abstract stuff. But it was all about, I mean, L.A., versus the East Coast. L.A. is really spread out, so you could really be in your own little world.
Yeah, that's really true, man. And I think you and I meeting is a very good case of that. Because so before I met you, we were sort of in like, it was me and Uno rapping together. We didn't know a lot of rappers. We didn't know a lot of people. We didn't really know a lot. We were like meeting little people here and there and there. But for whatever reason, like you and I clicked up real good when we met and just started hanging out a lot. And through you, even before I knew you before I met any of the LA Symphony cats, like me and you went through a whole crew. We'll get to that story before I even got to LA Symphony. And so you were already like on some other shit when I met you. Like, I don't know how quickly your styles developed or your tastes, whatever, how you rapped and all that. But when I met you guys, it was really weird because it was at a time. So when I was still basically whack at rapping, I think. And I was like starting to rap. And so I rapped like who I liked. So I pretty much rapped like Q-Tip, Guru, and CL Smooth. Just mix those three together. I don't know if that's a good combination to you or not, but that's pretty much where I was at, like style-wise, right? And I was like really like on the hunt for like styles. Like I had started to hear things like Souls of Mischief, stuff like that. And right before meeting you guys, I had kind of gotten put up on Freestyle Fellowship. And it blew my mind. Like, holy shit, these guys are amazing, right? Then I met you, Radioinactive, and Tom Slick, and Malik, right?
The problem child.
Malik, right. The problem child? No, I met you first, and we were hanging out, and then I met the other guys through you. But you guys were already, like well entrenched into, like, the West Coast underground style.
Right.
And I remember clearly thinking, and this is truth, I remember clearly thinking, this is what I've been looking for. Like, really. Like, I was looking for styles. I was looking for, like, because I've always been, like, into, like, cadence and patterns and rhythms and stuff like that. And you guys were already, I mean, at such a young age, you guys were already super exploring all that. And I was, like, mesmerized by that. Like, so I remember clearly thinking, like, hooking up with you guys, like, this is what I've been looking for. Like, what you guys were doing then. Tight, right?
That is tight, yeah. I was mesmerized by your giant Diet Coke that you're drinking. The cookbook's like the fittest dude. Looks like he just did like 100 burpees and he's drinking like a gallon of soda.
100 burps. It's Diet Coke, man. I know that's not the best, but hey, don't be telling my people, man. They count on me,
it's
man.
All good.
They count on me to run in the morning and do push-ups, man.
Hey, man, if that's the worst advice you got,
I did all right, man. I did all right.
I come through your meditation. I come through your meditation. I come through your meditation. I stood beside you in your supermarket.
When I was levitating, while meditating, debating on crushing your whole mob. On the job, consuming humans with my vacuum suction and function. I recite my letter. Those niggas get mad because I'm better with no leather. But I'm still patent from Cali, the valley of the madman. My actions cause subtractions in the party verbally excel. I raging my irate statements, cause patrons amongst patrons of my stations. Petrified to the skin, servants sin by retaliating. I read my sword for protection, disconnecting the blessings of lambs read below the window sill. Window fills the rays of the sun. You see, I've only just begun to venture through the galaxy, accepting the rallied resurrection of Captain Congeniality. Smoke pull from the meaty. I'm the Mac with connections, but it's hidden behind humble minds as I mumble rhyme. This is the first stage of life. Feel the sharp blade of the knife, pick it up off the floor. Unmasking without asking for. Pantomiming my rhyming with timing, I strike at the core. The effort was collective, for they can't maintain with the rep. Thanks for asking. You're competitive, we're meditative, basking in meditations. Collective meditations. Collective meditations. Collective meditations. When I was levitating while meditating. Collective meditation. Collectively collecting collectors of lectures, electing, reversing, conversing through. Constantly concerned, unconscious consciousness, conservers of art form. Are you into dissing, passing judgment, bugging when asked to cut rugs? Tugging for the mental intuition, squishing, superficial, dismissing, instrumental omissions of hugs. Kissing cushions, intimate, getting with a mushy, you're pushing for love. Took my vitamins, admiring, excited and tiring after firing, lying, still not now pliable and defiable, liable for your own actions. Expecting store-bought buys from the mall. No self-respect, respecting yourself or unrespectably fall. All bets off your bluffing, check your set if your depth is closed caption. Finding yourself handcuffing an intimacy to nothing cause your seatbelt's unfastened. Colder toes to those we know, stepping on people spying and trying to rub shoulders and pulls of the stars if they know who they are, always obsessive to me. I need a woman who is deep and philosophic as well as appealing fine. Extremely recommended, epidemic divine, unseemly reprimanded, epidermis sublime, aesthetic, prophetic to be my softest, unobnoxious feline for funneling my feelings. Often drumming beats in my mind with a behind in front of logic is optic, I haven't lost it. Dramatic habits, I've had it like in traffic. I will use my horn to perform, and singing might bring enormous, not torrid, horrendous songs to survive. Wonder under thunder and lightning, I will arrive and also thrive. I'm the smoothest moves approving as the rules be denied. Negativity must be dismissed as how I'm living. Trash can catch a fish if he's pissed, not to diss, I must insist. Look to your consciences, hunches inside. Impressions have been supplied. Desire in your higher fire confide. Do not decompose in your road, arise. It's alright, cause arise to feel the healing of the feeling of the ceiling and feeling the vibes. Collective meditations. Collective meditations. Collective meditation. When I was levitating while meditating, manic suppressor repressing the present havoc, erratic magic tapping static, flask of automatic, universal curse allergic to your virgin faith, an addict. Collective meditation. What's that?
Unable to see what I'm facing, disgracing my place in history, not to be changed by any form of meditation. Relation between the two of us goes no farther than blow that you have not, so I guess that makes me a relative of my own. All alone, having in-depth conversation with no bone, wishing I'm home, right over that seated position in my throne, everlasting zone. Visions without eyesight, visual fright. When you close your eyes, your brain describes the image of me by candlelight. I already figured you would have bite this fight, so I recite rhymes in a subconscious flight. Break material minds, right, hand it in the rift of the frontal lobe. Send me be ready for some interference, I got clearance. When your whole crew gets collective, I get intrusive, mentally spirit. Physically clearing you off the face of the 10th planet with brain damage. Call it name damage, cause you a bitch. Down the pack clips, while my tongue flips. Listen to the rips that slip from the 3-pound mass that rests on top of my shoulders. It'll be the boulder in smashing your imitation, a meditation. I got blows for Indiana with the Jones for the matter that glows. When you feel it coming out of my dome like chrome, send you to new homes through the essence.
Collective meditations. Collective meditations. Collective meditations. When I was levitating while meditating. Focus, don't keep your brain in the shoebox. 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 Focus,
I come to feel meditation. I come to feel meditation. I come to feel meditation.
Hey, no, but for real. So how did you guys how did your style develop? Let's just start there. I'm curious to know, just because I've never asked you that question.
That's a good question. Well, I mean, I started out. My household is crazy, just because my dad was born in Mexico. My mom was born in New York, but she's Egyptian. So it's a multicultural.
Yeah, a lot going on there.
A lot going on.
A lot of emotion.
Yeah.
I live next door to Egyptians,
spices,
bro. Yeah,
a lot of spices. Yeah,
they get it cracking.
Be thrown.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
and then they mix the Latin in there. Woo-wee.
Yeah. Anyways, my dad exposed me to a lot of records growing up, and he was a drummer, so I was always
the rhythm
on the trap set and messing with the rhythm. The way I remember hip hop too is it started out spacey too. You had Nucleus, Jam On, Revenge.
Yeah.
It was it before it got all gangster or whatever. It was like
All right,
on
like
some
space
spacey
sounds. You're right.
on some
Yeah.
spacey stuff where you got like your Africa Bambaataa and all that. The the Kraftwerk sounds and numbers and Egyptian Lover and all that kind of stuff. It's all spacey. So. And then, I mean, when we were young, all the gangster stuff started to like become popular. So it was all about like keeping that fun and sort of having that mind expanding, bringing imagination into the music. Because I mean, actually, imagination is how you create as well.
For sure,
Which is, hip hop is like the most convoluted art form as far as like, it's like kids living at home talking about how much money they got.
Yeah,
like, Mom, can I borrow $5?
Well, that is
$10?
imagination,
right? No, it is, but actually, like, you're tapping into that, into a vision or you get inspired, and then that fills your heart with like a purpose where you're like, you get really interested in something, and then you have the thirst to actually like learn more. I mean, for us, we were, like you said, you were on a search for styles, and like when we went to a place like the Good Life, which was a little health food store where, Volume 10 and Freestyle Fellowship and Farside and a lot of LA people. It was a scene where it was very jazzy in the respect that everybody was improvising and outdoing each other in a sort of a sophisticated way by trying to come with more originality and that was, I mean, you're a young kid, you don't have a lot of money or whatever, but it's kind of like b-boying. It's like your styles is what you have. That's like your expression, and you can create a name for yourself and a whole existence without you don't have to have money or anything. That's just all. It's like a street cred, basically.
No, I mean that's kind of the essence of hip hop, what you're describing right there. I just remember being like there was a certain freedom that you guys already had. There was a certain that I didn't have yet, and so I think that's why I always looked. I mean, I really, honestly, if I'm honest, like I looked up to you guys, like in a lot of ways, like the way I started rapping. I mean, could probably say was very close to biting you guys, just rapping like you and TS and like Merce and all those guys, Eli. I was just like, I'm gonna just do what they do because that's tight. So I remember even like everything, like my delivery, my tone, like I was just kind of, because I think I was just learning, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I mean, if you guys were like, yo, this guy's biting our styles.
No.
But I do know I was very heavily influenced by that whole experience in my life. And I mean, it was literally how we were living, like every day, literally almost for sure every weekend. It'd be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It'd be like Thursday. What are you guys doing Tuesday? Like it was always either we were going out somewhere rapping or we're at my house in the garage. You know what I mean? Making beats, doing whatever. And so for me, it was like school in a lot of ways. Like I really, for those of you guys who don't know, we're talking about the crew that we created called Log Cabin. And that was like school for me, man. When I left the Log Cabin situation, like I knew like who I was as a rhymer, and I had to gain control. Like I got to be a really good freestyler. Everything, like all the essentials you need, for me, came from being in Log Cabin. For me, so it was tight. For a long time, I felt like dissed by you guys, kind of like, oh, those guys are assholes, man. They dissed me, but I never take away from like what I don't know. How did you? I don't know that you guys actually were assholes to me. I'm saying like there was like my shit I was dealing with, like, man, they don't like me. But it had a lot to do with like at the time I was very religious too. So that always kept like, you guys always respected it for sure. Like you guys respected like that religion for sure. But like I just always felt like, oh man, like. And I think it was my shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
it was cool. I mean, we used to
you guys used to be
hang tight with you guys. I mean, we'd go. You'd take us to
church shows, bro.
Pigeon John shows, and LPG, and all those guys. So we used to. I still remember that one.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna bring up.
What was Pigeons group with
Brainwash Projects.
Yeah, Brainwash
Yeah,
Projects.
yeah.
Where they're like passing around the basket, the donation basket or whatever, and they're playing Cash Rules Everything Around Me. Cream, get the money. Dollar
Bro,
bill.
How about this
y'all.
one, man? You remember me and Uno threw a show in Culver City, and we had like Brainwash Projects. LPG is an old school. These are old school, like mid '90s
Rocky.
Christian rappers. Yeah, like Shamesworthy was in Ton of Rats and all that. So it was Ton of Rats was a LPG, Shamesworthy, like a bunch of crews, right? And the main guy from that was this dude named Dax, right? So they were the headliners of the show, and then he was like speaking, like and I had all the Log Cabin. I was like, yo, come to my show, dog. And Log Cabin rolled deep, like Eli, everybody, the homie Knows.
Yeah.
I think Neo Sapien was there. Like,
yeah, they were asking like trivia questions or something.
Yo,
right?
but he kind of like started banging on my crew from like, it was supposed to be like an altar call, like, you know, when you're like, hey, come to Jesus. But then he started getting like raw, like, nigga, we could go outside right now, fool. I remember like he was talking to that dude Knows. I can't remember his real name. What's his real name? Danny, yeah. And he was like, hey, fool, you think, will you get saved, fool, or we could fight? Or like which one is this? Are you preaching or are we banging? Like, and I remember like going like, being in the back, like, oh man, this is terrible. This is terrible. Like, I threw the show. That's my crew in the audience. And why is he banging on him right now? Like, why is he trying to talk tough, bro? And I just remember fools were mad and like, well, dude, does he even know how deep we are in here right now? Like, we were so deep.
Yeah,
that was a big ass crew, bro. But anyway, I just always remember that story, man. Like, that's not tight.
Yeah,
you guys did that to me.
Yeah, those guys were banging on us. I remember
They were, bro.
I just remember Eli bumping our demos or whatever outside
in Culver City.
Yeah, in Culver.
I still go to a restaurant right next to that church.
By
where that
Dinah's?
happened. Yeah, right next to Dinah's, bro. Yeah, man.
Are short of all in your motto, I'm a protocol MC. Diminishing, finishing, rendering useless, multidimensionally living, radioinactive, my personal focus, integral at elevated intervals, centered amenable, dependable, uncomprehendable, insurmountable, silent, dialects, hardcore, telepathic, just like when you didn't even cut that, did you? I forgot. You are primitive, bound to imitate, limited to the present, only hearing, plugging to the human air resonant frequencies, irrelevant, random, animals, due to an unevolved intelligence, elephant, hippopotamus, uttering fish, metaphors, because I would have never thought of this. Simple earthling, frequency level is critical with linked synonyms and crowns, soldiers round, spaceships going downwards, ask me for no transfer disasters after planetary, over distorted, but morbid, torture, toward horde, time, traveling, unraveling, hyper riders, writing igneous, metamorphic, sedimentary ciphers, undulate, dilate, hatchlings, mismatchlings, beam from seas of the galaxies, valid earthlings, analyze, pillars, still pillars, primarized, lies by little space and time, holographic, congested traffic with no walk signs, pedestrians, hovering over suffering, homo sapiens, not taping, tapping, fathoming dynamite, nitrous, excited by lightness, 445, beautiful shades of blue skies, under the thunder and crescent moon's other eyes, receiving no SOS, signals damage, can manage to about face, 99 days lost in space.
I'm a spiritual, lyrical, miracle, organic matter, eating up molecules on a platter, defying, denying all senses of gravity, morality surrounds, interior sounds, unknown trouble pounds, outbound face, increasing, antagonizing cosmic flows, contaminating the atmosphere, transforming solid states to liquid, in a screw you could imagine, how many minds abducting, I'm smashing, misleading, diabolically disconnecting, permanently probing, dissecting, rearranging, genetic coding, thoracic, cavities imploding, snatch the astronomical atlas, leaving the Babylon mapless, environmental anesthesia, bringing mortal worlds, instantaneous amnesia, teleporting epileptic individuals through portholes now freezing, neglecting, residuals remaining invisible without a trace, 99 days lost in space.
Take me to your leader or master, subconsciously enforcing phonetic diva, pump-sized unauthorized disaster, deciphering hyper, hologram, holocaust, loss of life force, energy absorbing, somber, imperial, ethereal, aerial, burial, mentally shackled, morbid, alien enemies, Pondering black holes, ponder counterfeit revolution. Short end of the stick, evident benefits, including embracing a commercial reversing of evolution. No antidote, inoculation of all that is popular, racing any more chance of solution from poisonous, noisiness, out of breath, android dance to the trance to death. Repeatedly meeting exceedingly speedier, meteors, greedier media, growing intimate with inanimate objects, chiefly treasuries, leasing earthling residents, DC's presidents, remedial pleasure, eagerly puppeting souls, controlling senior projects, breaking rules of game and fair and fight, apocalypse, walking to the light through whispering, listening, talking, obelisk, penetrating the glaring, sizzling glare at a whistling velocity, instigating animosity to a Fahrenheit, healthy Celsius, centigrade, integrate, renegades, infamous, ever infamous, eternity, thermonuclear infirmity, inferno, receiving no SOS, signals damage, cannot manage to about face, 99 days, lost in potions, positive, oscillate, polish all this obvious, awesome neutron, pulled from atoms and neutrons, nucleus, energized, supernova, paneling, analogy, similar astrology, heated, semen, demonology, prophet, agnostic, atom is heating, ceramic, hammocks of acid, lacking havoc, first level in organic, seed, deep, ecologen, halogen, polygon, roots, one leveling, gelatin, mold, a virus, iris, gold, retina, focus, motor skills, food, penicillin, full, alleology, traveling galaxies, balancing the balancing of Gothic 17th century, venturing various elements, relativity, renovating stars, mark, gravity, riveting, pivoting, obelisk of gods, parting heart of Jah, knowledge of all, ordinary, morbid, cemetery, buried 6, 7 acres of evil and hatred, hypocritic nature, effective trestle bent behavior, aluminum grammar wrapped in frigid exhibit, 11 digit disaster, inhibits your pastor, piston pump friction, my diction is masters, last words ending in anything menacing, my cabin of dialogue covers me, receiving no SOS, signals damaged, and I managed to about face, 99 days, lost in space, time is slick, lost in space, radioinactive, lost in space,
A late quantum child, lost in space.
elusive, producive,
Lost in space.
Josh,
Lost in space.
basic living word,
Lost in space. Lost in space.
saga, lost in space,
Lost in space.
T-style,
Lost in space.
skinwalkers, lost in space, whole universe,
Lost in space.
universals,
Lost in space.
India sweets and spices,
Yes, goes out to the beast.
lost in space.
I eat planets for dinner. Yum. Y'all kids is crazy, man. Y'all kids is crazy on the road, though. Yeah.
Anyway, so getting back to the story, man. So you and I, we're in log cabin, and from there, where'd you go from there after log cabin? Kind of. We can get back to if we want to get into
after
details,
log
but-
cabin. Basically, Merce and Eli and all those guys moved up to the Bay Area, and they started working with the Mystic Journeyman and started the Living Legends. I started hanging out with of Mexican descent, Tumex and the Shapeshifters. So I started doing stuff with them.
Yeah.
AWOL 1.
For a long time, I didn't even realize you were in the Shapeshifters, bro.
I was actually. There was a period where there wasn't that many people in the Shapeshifters, and it was like basically almost me, Circus, LAJ, Rob One, and AWOL,
So tight, bro.
and then there was the chain smokers, not the guys that
Not the guys out now that are making lots of money.
Yeah, not those guys.
Not those rich
those guys are taking money baths, man.
Woo, I know.
Those
Those guys are
like-
throwing money at money baths, bro. Turn the shower on and pennies just fall on them.
Jeez.
Anyway, the chain smokers of Mexican descent.
And we were also doing a lot of shows with Dilated.
Yeah. That's tight. Yeah, Shapeshifters really was
Rocca
like,
and Mike.
I don't know, people like, nowadays, I don't know how much people know the history of Shapeshifters or like what, but that was like a big movement. You guys had the fucking Star Wars logo. It was tight, man. You guys
It
were
was.
everywhere.
It was
a lot of tours.
A lot of we were playing a lot of big raves, actually. You know, we'd be like, it would be like Allison, Acid Land, you know, going on between Africa Bambaataa and the Sugar Hill Gang or whatever. Like big shows with lots of people and
then you guys rolling up in there.
We had a whole, it's interesting, out of all the different crews I've been in, the Shapeshifters was like this misfits, like, you know, it's not like one person like, oh yeah, you know, Radioinactive, whatever. This is like Shapeshifters was like people would roll out like off reservations or whatever. They'd have the Shapeshifter shirts.
Just
It'd
crazy
be like
movement.
cholos, and like surfers and girls.
Yeah, it's like
and
you almost can't even pin down a Shapeshifters fan. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it could be anybody. Like,
Yeah.
for their own reasons. It's like they're dealing with their own stuff, and that's why they're into Shapeshifters, bro.
Exactly.
It's like but I think that's tight, man. And like, I feel like that was a real movement. That was a real.
Yeah, it's like a fun, almost like sci-fi type thing.
Yeah.
That really did well. And out of all the things, all the crews I was in, that one probably had the most potential to blow up.
Yeah.
In a way that was bigger than all of us.
Yeah.
We had a little like a brush with success. Like we had like one MTV type video, and like we got, I think we sold like, I mean at the time it was like 50,000 units or whatever.
That's really good. That's really good.
Ross, and we had like, somehow we didn't make any money, but that's a whole nother whole nother story.
Yeah. Well, so you think that, like, would you say then that your most successful time as a like rapper, musician, etc., is Shapeshifters time or solo artists, or what would you say?
Well, I mean, I also was in a group with Busdriver called The Weather, Busdriver and Daedalus. That was a
That's
pretty
right. Yeah.
sort of ahead of his time album. We did really well. We had like reviews in Rolling Stone, and we did like a world kind of tour thing.
Yeah.
And then I was on that Mush Records. I had a bunch of albums on
I remember that. Yeah,
label.
Mush Records.
So I got actually the Anacon guys, Dose One, he's the one who got me signed on that label. And then we did a couple big tours and went to Europe and
so dope. You're saying all these names, is like there's so much like from like the mid to late 90s and like that first decade of the 2000s.
Yeah.
There's so much like richness in the underground rap scene.
Man.
Like there was a
indie
movement,
yeah.
bro.
We went from like
Mush
media
Records,
darlings. Bro? Yeah, we were just like smart rap or like alt. I don't know, alt rap, whatever it was.
All these names,
left field, whatever. But it went from that. All of a sudden, everybody was like, "Oh man, we want gangster rap now again."
Yeah, just
and the same exact thing happened in the early '90s, where it was like, post L.A. riots. Rodney King. Everybody was trying to come with some consciousness. X-Clan or dropping knowledge. Whatever. And then in the mid 90s, everybody got gangster. Like you had Notorious B.I.G. and then everybody, even all the like the lyrical rappers of the early 90s, like all were talking about like, guns and selling drugs and all that. It was like, it was a trend. And that kind of thing happened again with the indie rap in the early 2000s. And then it was like the Dirty South got popular and everybody was like, felt more authentic listening. All those like the nerdy like college rappers that not college rappers, nerdy like writers that were writing for all those like the Village Voice and all the publications were all of a sudden like we don't like the backpacker stuff anymore. Like
we're done with that.
Yeah, give me some whatever, some Little John or some
man. Know. I mean that's how it goes. Essentially, is that everything goes in cycles, and music trends and things go in cycles. I mean, I even saw like the sort of chopping it up styles that started from like Freestyle Fellowship and on through us and different crews in that West Coast, and of course we know about Bone and all that, and people that got it kind of popular, and then it went away, and then probably like 2011 it had that resurgence where like people started like mainstream raps were having like the real fast chopping it raps and stuff like that. I think everything goes through cycles. So what has made you like go through those cycles? Like what has made you kind of be able to, I guess, weather the storm, for lack of a better term?
I mean, it's an artist's tendency to be tripping on a certain thing at a certain time. It's almost like I mean, I'll use the foodie analogy just because, people in food hop on trends like on some gourmet stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, everybody's into Japanese food. So, even people like will be making barbecue sauce and putting some like Japanese, like some ginger or some like shiso pepper or whatever that, or Moroccan, like everybody's using preserved lemon this year. So people ride those waves of trends or whatever.
Yeah.
Whether it's the dubstep or like now it's the trap beats or whatever like
right.
That. But if you have, it depends. If you're in the business of making records for money, then you might be approaching it in a different way. I've done all right in the music world, making some money, but I never made that. I was always taught to like, and you're a prime example. I mean, this guy Cookbook Man was like, I was like 18 and he was like selling herbal cookies and like not the
herbal cookies,
not the
herb cookies.
No, but like
like fiber cookies, and herb pills. Like it was like, okay, so it came through church. Like my youth leader, my youth pastor, whatever, was like, yo, we got these business. You could work. You didn't have to be 21 or whatever. You could just do it. And then I
bought a pound of cookies and he divides them up into like
chop them up into
grams. Cookies.
You get a gram of this fiber cookie, son.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll have you straight for a week.
Hey, but I was, Cook made an impression on me because I was like, man, this guy's like, he's like just in college, like a freshman or whatever, hustling, like making that side money,
trying to get money.
Yeah, networking. He's like selling these cookies like mixtapes. Like, what's this guy doing, man?
What's in these cookies, man? They're going like flying like hotcakes. Nah, I mean, I think it was, I think I have I got a strong work ethic from my parents. And it's funny, I was just talking about this on a recent.
Did you have a paper route?
Nah, dude. That's one thing I didn't. No, I worked, speaking of cookies, my first job when I was in school was bakery. And I worked at the bakery for a long time. And then I did from that. I wanted to do music.
I worked at a bakery too when I was in high school.
Yeah, me too. Same bakery? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. But I think, I wanted to do music. You start going to college and trying to do all this, that, and the other. And then it was like a way to make money. All right. It's like just, I guess, sort of a hustler mentality, like.
I had a different.
Get it.
I wish I would have known about the cookies. When I was in high school, I discovered that, in the back of magazines, they had these caffeine pills. And then you could buy 1,000 of these caffeine pills. They're legal, by the way.
Illegal?
Legal.
Oh, legal.
Legal caffeine pills. 1,000 of them for $16.
Oh, man.
And I started selling them.
$1 each or something?
$1 each.
Yeah. That's so...
And I was making, I was making some money and, I wasn't selling them as anything else, but somebody at school... snitched me out, like maybe it wasn't legal caffeine or whatever pills.
They thought it was.
So I got suspended or whatever for selling those, but I was a young entrepreneur,
There
learning.
it is, man. You're a street entrepreneur.
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
Of,
selling legal,
selling narcotics. You're selling that legal narcotics, son.
Weather is a glazed beverage with a grave emphasis on the strange letter bridge and the games we assist when we exchange leadership. With the change in the meter, bitch, y'all can eat some zebra shit with a fork and knife and tartar sauce. It's the corporate flight of Haagen-Dazs, the forward light on the cotton cloth. The people who bring flat screens to book burnings and put earnings in the soil canvas of oil canvas painters. Painted pictures of people with pictures of evil watered down with a gospel crown. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. I don't think we're in Timbuktu. Gonna live tough tip reduction, big butt liposuction at the annual Bible luncheon.
I pull stunts in with an eyeball crunch grin. Why not wear a waterproof necktie to the function? Do what you gotta do. Go to Lake Havasu to cook some rabbit stew and have an old lady gab at you.
The weather will talk your head off. The parking attendant will park your attention span against an amended plan of a white ninja in Japan with Red Cross medical coverage. Our legible smudges are well received like health-conscious women dressing their husbands drinking vegetable slushes. I disassemble my musket, never an instrumental, a milli vanilla. The caterpillars are willing to kill me. The castle builders are bidding a bill for women and children are living in limited numbers with primitive plumbers and innocent mother was giving the pilgrims some supper. Today's forecast is that you'll be suffering a pain in your lower back. You cannot get on this plane without a boarding pass. You should drink a quart of gas. It's interesting how nuclear warheads last. A Hercules forehead is smashed on a wall of weather. That's why we wear these koala sweaters. Like they were tailored, let's save a whaler. The major failure in a Vegas trailer. Paid your dealer, pay the waiter for our plated taters. Irritate your neighbors by real estate in acres. Near a lake where ravers get earaches from lasers. Bearded naked Vaders get near the sacred savior to hear the tape they play a cold front. We're too old to smoke blunts, so we promote funk that make adults hump. We catapult jump.
Yeah, man. And so like right now we're sitting in like one of the fattest studios I've been in years, man. This place is incredible and it's yours. And for me, I'm like, okay, I knew you in Log Cabin, a bunch of dusty rapper dudes, backpackers, you know what I mean? Dreadlocks, smoking beaties and freestyling about baloney and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I knew.
Polonius
You and
month.
us. Yeah. I got that tape. I was going to try to bring it, man, but I'll bring it next time. That's what I knew you as. And then, you know, like I knew like, oh, Kamal, Radioinactive, you know, he put that new album out here. He's Shapeshifters. So I kind of like from like the outside of it all was still knowing like what you were doing. Mm-hmm. Then like sort of in recent years, like maybe in the past like 8-10 years, like I'd get a call from you once in a while, like, yo man, I just got an SSL, whatever, I got a Neve board, like so you're doing sound now? Oh yeah, you know, like this and that and the other, I work for. So how the fuck did it come to this?
I know.
How did this happen? How do you have all this? How do you have all this knowledge? Where did this come from? Why are you making so much money doing this? Like, what? Tell me, because I want to know.
Well, it all kind of started after I was in perpetual college. I was going to CSUN.
Yeah.
I went back to SMC
Tight.
to get my AA degree.
Nice. After CSUN?
Yeah.
Now, kids, that's not the order you're supposed to do it in, but whatever.
Anyways, I was trying to, I was basically studying something I wasn't really interested in.
Which was?
It was art history. My dad, was a drummer, and then he transitioned into becoming a gemologist.
Interesting.
So he had a jewelry store, and he'd travel around and buy interesting art, pieces of art, and then he had all these kind of like rock star clients, like Joni Mitchell's and Stevie Nicks or Quincy Jones or whatever. Yeah, and he would find stuff for his clients,
Right.
And I was thinking, I was like, I was maybe gonna help, join him down that path. And I was working for him in in college. I took my car to get washed, and I had a ring, a $6,000 ring that I had picked up from, the jewelry district downtown that I was supposed to deliver. But I decided that I was going to get my car washed, and somebody, the car, it was deep in the glove box, but it got stolen. And that was the beginning of the end of that whole thing. So
I once got $60 stolen from my glove box at a car wash.
Yo, this was a $6,000.
So it's not the same. Not quite.
6,000 pesos, maybe. Anyways, I felt really bad, and
of course.
I had to go back there. I was trying to talk to the workers, speak Spanish with them, hey. Everyone's like,
we don't know.
Yeah.
Same thing with my $60, man. I went back and I was like, where's my $60?
They were like,
They were like, we don't know. We didn't see no $60. It's like, why's that guy got a new hat on then?
Exactly. So I was also working at a record store, Tempo Records.
Oh yeah,
in Century City.
I don't even remember that.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Slanging
so you were
records.
still heavy on the music tip.
I was heavy on the music tip, but I was going to school.
You weren't so good at gems, bro. You weren't doing so good.
Nah, I wasn't so good. No.
It's not that hot, bro, when you lose $6,000.
Yeah, don't boys and girls, don't go get your car washed if you're delivering an expensive something.
And if you do get your car washed, put the gems in your pockets.
Exactly.
And your $60, man, because I swear to God, they took my $60. I ain't like that. Anyway.
So yeah, that was a low point. And then I was back at SMC because I decided I want to get my AA degree. So I dropped out of CSUN with 6 months before I was going to get my degree or something like that.
Like your big main degree.
My
your
main
BA
degree.
Or whatever. And you go,
back at CSUN, and then I was working at a head shop on Santa Monica Promenade.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. And then I got a call.
And this whole time you were doing music still, though, just like.
Oh yeah, I was doing music. Yeah, I mean,
time. Of course.
I was putting out
CDs,
tapes, or whatever.
Tapes. Video cassettes.
And I was playing a bunch of shows with the Shapeshifters.
Tight.
I got a call though to work to do sound on a movie.
Well, were you already doing sound? Where did that come from?
I was doing music like all of us, so we were self-recording. I had a 4-track, and we had, we recorded our Los Angeles experiment, which was we basically put in our own money and recorded.
That studio in Santa Monica.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to Henri. Stop being mad at us, man.
Yeah,
please.
exactly.
We didn't mean to do it. We were kids. We didn't know what we were doing, Henri.
Yeah, exactly.
I know we probably owe you some money, man, but come on, man. Don't be mad at us no more. Anyway, go on. So you started kind of learning by looking over the shoulders of dudes who were working with you as far as recording your own music.
Exactly. I mean, and people, I had some friends that were working in recording studios as engineers, and I was like,
teach me.
Go hang out at the record plant or whatever.
You just start soaking up knowledge.
But I got a call from this friend of my dad's, who my dad had traveled to India with him, whatever, and he worked on a show called Silk Stockings down in San Diego. Mm-hmm. But I got when I got this call, I quit my job at the head shop, they were pretty disappointed about that.
Maybe.
And then I went and worked for free for a month. And I actually talked to TS's dad, to Tom Slick's, no, not his dad, his uncle Albert, who worked at CSUN.
By the way, Tom Slick is one of the OG members of Log Cabin.
And Albert was like, you should get your days towards the union. So
for that whole month or whatever.
For that whole month. But in order to get the days for the union, I was getting my paycheck and then giving it back to the sound mixer I was working for. But I worked for that month. I did a good job. And then I got hired on Silk Stockings as one of the boom operators. So I moved down to San Diego.
Oh, wow.
And I did that until I got into a car accident driving home after one of those 16-hour
long
days.
Shit.
So, but I had enough days to get into the union, so I started doing that. Then I started working on a bunch of TV shows doing sound.
Just through the network and stuff?
Through the network of the guy that I was working for down in San Diego was like an old school guy that was hard to work for.
Yeah.
But everybody who worked for him learned a lot because he made you do everything. So I had a network of guys like these boom operator guys at the time. It was like Vince, Donovan Deere, and Kevin Hyde. And these guys were working on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They're doing CSI. They're working on all these
big shows.
Profiler. So I got my first break working for this guy named Steve Morrow, who's the guy that did sound for La La Land.
Oh shit!
He does huge stuff.
Pretty big.
But sound for movies is you're basically imagine a recording studio, but you actually have to go and shoot on the street and in less than ideal sounding places. Yeah. Right next to the freeway, you're doing a movie set in the Middle Ages, and then you're right next to the Van Nuys Airport, stuff like that. So, but I, during that time, starting that sound work, I was also doing music, and I would, I got a job on that show Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah. I was working on that, and then during the summertime, I'd go on tours or Shapeshifter tours.
So you were balancing kind of the work and the music work and all that.
I was balancing the music and the work, doing the episodic.
But you really were growing in the sound world, the TV world and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I started to make good money, and I was, I had full benefits, insurance and all that. Yeah. And I was working with all these, stars and stuff. Wigs, I got a job worked on the Swordfish.
That movie?
The movie. I actually got to boom topless Halle Berry.
You got to boom those tits?
I did.
Damn, you heard it here first, man. My man Kamal, a.k.a. Radioinactive, he boomed those tits.
I did boom those Halle Berry tits, man.
The very first time Halle Berry ever showed her tits
crap out
on
of
screen,
those tits, yeah.
He boomed the crap out of those tits. That sounds like a hook idea right there. Boom those tits.
Boom those tits.
Boom those tits. That sounds like a Pitbull song.
I think it is. Shout out to Pitbull. But some more years went by. Started working on doing reality stuff like Survivor. I worked on The Biggest Loser.
Damn, really?
For a bunch of seasons. And then I got a chance to work on American Idol.
Sick.
So this camera operator I met in the South Pacific in the Cook Islands on Survivor, he got a call and he hit me up, and it ended up working out, and then I was on that show for 10 years.
Damn.
And then I became the audio supervisor on that show.
Wow.
And I was renting him equipment too, so I not only was I
so you had already been buying equipment too to build up your studio or something? So you got equipment to rent to them?
I actually, it's kind of like, the motto is like demand and supply. So you're basically like, hey, do you have that equipment? I'm like, oh yeah,
Totally.
absolutely. I'm like,
do I?
On the internet, like
Guitar
all right,
Center
how can I
does?
do this?
Yeah. Let me roll down the Guitar Center and get it real quick.
So I financed a bunch of equipment, and then it grew into
itself.
a nice business.
So you have an equipment rental business too?
Exactly.
Sick, bro. This guy's chipping up, man.
Man,
he's got money coming in, little secret side hatches and stuff, man.
But
getting money, and then
American Idol helped me to finance my vintage recording equipment.
Dude, if anybody who knows about recording equipment, he's got an SSL.
SSL is actually the new edition. New edition was recorded. This is Maury Starr's board originally.
This actual board?
This board was New Edition and New Kids on the Block.
Oh, shit.
And the Johnson Crew, Pac Jam. And then it got sold to LaFace Records. So then it was in Atlanta.
Wow.
For all that early
TLC,
90s. Outkast.
Going back to the time when I got a funny story. Going back to the time when we were in log cabin, young underground dudes. I just remember there was this feeling, we were very vocal about it, yo man, keep it underground, keep it real, yo. And I just remember being we called everything that we thought that was whack. We'd be like, oh, those are some trendy G's. And
right.
we would we had all our little things. And I remember when Outkast came out, all the players play from far and wide. I remember low-key loving that song. I did not want to tell you guys because that shit was trendy G shit kind of. In my mind, I thought you guys were going to be like, this fool whack music now or whatever. And I just remember being yo man, I can't front, that shit's kind of tight. And I think one time I finally said it in front of one of you guys. I was honestly man, I kind of like that Outkast shit. I had bought the single and everything, and everybody else was yo man, me too, bro, that shit's hot, bro. And everybody was we can say that we like it. You're nobody wanted to say that they like that shit. And then once one guy said it, everybody's oh hell yeah, that shit's tight, man.
Man, that reminds me of, I don't know if you were there, but Santa Monica College, they had this talent show that was the Apollo. And
shit.
And
I don't think I was there. Go ahead.
Me and Tom Slick, Malik the Problem Child, and Saga. Remember Saga?
I do.
And we performed, and we got booed, and it was all the trendy, the football dudes, all the dudes
the guys that wanted to listen to the gangster rap and all that.
Exactly.
Whatever's on the radio.
The G-Funk dudes.
But see, what you guys don't know is the way our attitude was back then, that probably fueled us or you guys more. See how it is? That's right, man. We on
true.
that next shit and fuck them and not saying that's not even wrong. It's good probably that it fueled you more because it's what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? You get haters, you get booed, you get shit happens, right? But that's just supposed to make you want to continue to get better and progress and do more, and you did. I mean, it's shit's
Well, the funny thing is though, you're talking about the underground, saying oh yeah, oh F that shit, we're gonna keep it underground.
Yeah.
I remember Merce took us to Loud Records, and we met with this A&R. His name was Renard, I think. And we had a demo, so we bust out this demo. We played, 3 songs or whatever. Yeah. And he was one song, the little bit more commercial song, he was oh, I like that. He's can you guys do some more stuff like that? And we basically recorded a bunch of more catchy songs or whatever. And then we came back and we played them, and they're oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Keep going.
Keep making some more stuff. And then there was a point where we were just no, fuck that shit. Let's just do the super crazy stuff that'll never sell any records and be ourselves. And But I mean, if you keep being yourself, eventually, or if you give yourself the space to be yourself, but you might not know who you are, so you might have to go through different incarnations of yourself.
But if you were constantly trying to make songs for those label guys or for what you perceive to be the audience or whatever, then you would have never started on that journey of like self-learning. You know what I mean? Like, but that's a theme on this show that we talk about a lot, and I see as a key to success and to a very happy life, and that's learning how to be your authentic self, and I would say that experience, I mean, to be able to kind of like go to some of the abstract places that we went as Log Cabin, and like you took even further in your solo career and your other crews and stuff, it's like to go that far and to like go like maybe you didn't even know yourself fully, you're just going for it. Like, I think that's a good quality that some people have naturally, but all people can develop. You know what I mean? That freedom, that inhibition, where you just say, fuck it, let's go for it. Maybe it was drugs helping you out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never did drugs. Maybe that's why I was less, But eventually hanging out with you guys, man, I did kind of go for some styles, man. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's just wanting to point that out, because that's such a... I mean, you can get successful and be inauthentic. You can totally not be yourself and have success. But in order to live what I would call a beautiful life, like a truly happy and joyous life, it cannot happen if you're not tapped into and fully aware and fully living out of your authentic self. I firmly believe that. I don't think people are happy if they're not truly being themselves. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you stay in the game, and then you these experiences, you just have to be open to discovering and to appreciating stuff. And I mean, if you that struggle actually creates growth. Like anytime where it's not easy, that's where where you really figure out what you're made out of. Yeah. And you have that growth, and then you experience that gratitude because you've had you've been faced with the struggle, and you came through that contrast. Yeah. But then you got then I found myself like I was working on a show with Wanda Sykes, and I had to mic up Sade, the singer. And
that's awesome.
It was like everybody was really nervous because we only had her for 45 minutes or whatever. And she was, I mean, still beautiful. I don't know how old she was, in her 50s, whatever, but just still
the
beautiful. So I got the mic. I'm ready to mic her up, and then she looks at me, and I'm sort of like looking at what she's wearing to see how I'm gonna put the mic on her. And she looks at me, and she's just like, "I'm not wearing any underpants."
Oh, bro!
And I was just like,
"What?
Okay, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out." Anyway, so that afterwards,
that's success, bro.
Wanda Sykes, she took us out for drinks or whatever, and I told Wanda, and she's like, "Yes, my fantasy is maintained. Like, of course, Sade wouldn't wear any underpants. Like, that makes total
awesome,
sense."
Bro. In my mind, that's success right there, bro. You stood in front of Sade, number one.
I did.
You met her. You spoke with her. She actually told you she was not wearing any underwear, bro.
I mic'd up...
You're like in 0.001% of men on the earth.
I mic'd up Beyonce when she had her first baby, which I'm still not sure if she actually had that baby or if it was like a baby suit.
Why do you say that, bro? Is there some controversy around Blue Ivy?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know about the surrogate, the body, the Pilates, whatever.
Well, from what I understand, her and a lot of celebrities, they have the baby, and then while they're still on the table, they do liposuction right then and there.
Oh, that's another. Whoa, I did another. I worked on this show. It was a pilot, but it was with Kevin Hart's ex-wife.
Yeah,
and she got the show was about female plastic surgeons, and she got the mommy makeover. So I was in the operating room for like 7 hours or whatever while they took they just made her completely snatched. Like they took all the fat out of her cheeks, like her arms, her back or whatever. They put some more fat in her booty, and
oh my god,
it was like Westworld. Did you ever see Westworld?
Yeah.
Where like people are just completely
getting
lifeless
created. Yeah,
yeah, it was.
Dude,
it's crazy.
you just dropped, like you name dropped, which is tight. You stunned it on us right now without even realizing it, bro. You said, yeah, I mic'd up Sade. I met her. Yeah, I mic'd up Beyonce. I met her. It's like, yeah, I worked on American Idol 10 years. Like, the amount of people and experiences that you've had, to me, that contributes to success, too. Like, the experiences and the quality of interactions that you have is such a, a lot of times we get caught up with money being sort of the deciding factor of whether you're successful or not. But, like, quality of life, I think, is so important, and experiences and loving what you do. And would you say, I mean, I get the sense that you have lived that kind of life, like that you've really enjoyed what you're doing. I'm sure there's ups and there's downs, but I don't get a sense from you that it's like everything you're doing, you want to be doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a busy man like myself, and you have kids as well, which I don't have yet.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. But
none that you know of, right, bro? Yeah, bro.
Lake Havasu.
Totally.
2011.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
Lake Havasu. That's funny.
But man, it's really, if you're an artist and with what you do, whether it be music or drawing or dancing or whatever, I feel like there's a time where you start to apply that creativity to your life in general, whether it be business or how you mow your lawn or how you
No, I think that's really true. I'm very big, and one of the things, like, so I do coaching. I coach a lot of
Coachella.
I coach in Coachella only, so I only coach once a year, 2 weekends a year. I'm just kidding. No, but so a lot of what we talk about.
That's the sponsor, the integration for the podcast is Coach, right?
That's it.
Coach is the most luxurious of travel.
They're wonderful handbags.
I mean,
I really feel
their
like
toiletry bags are like to die for. You could put like a
I mean, those bags
an alligator
last forever.
skin razor bag in one of those Coach bags.
And nothing's gonna happen to it, man. You could drop a Coach bag off the freaking highest building.
And it comes with a whistle, so you can pretend like you're a coach. Do you use a coach when you're whistling, or do you use a whistle when you're coaching?
I come with a Coach bag to every coaching session, and it definitely has a whistle, of course. No, but for real, getting back to what I was saying is that I feel like more people need to realize, like, we're creating our lives by the choices we make. And the real big goal in all of our lives is just to get ourselves to do it on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, make the choices of the direction in your life on purpose. Be a deliberate creator. Do it on purpose, because so many times we don't do that.
On purpose, right?
We do it on purpose, you know what I'm saying? Or just do it for the halibut. Either way, whatever, man. We'll be here all week, folks. Yeah! My bad.
Yeah.
But seriously,
sometimes it's just hard for an orange roughy to get through.
It's really orange roughy out here for a pimp, man. You know what I'm saying? It really is.
The big mackerel on campus.
God. It's too much. Man, we got to keep it ill up in here, man.
Hey, man.
You got to keep it ill.
You got to be the sardine of the school, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God. No more. All right, folks. The Pun Brothers are back. Yeah. We'll be right back. We'll be right back with the Pun Brothers.
After these messages, we'll bring Mitt Pastromny on. He's going to talk about...
Oh, my God.
He just did a movie with Beef Ledger and Angelina Bovine.
Oh, my God.
Directed by Angus Lee.
Oh, my God. Did you prepare these, bro?
No.
You're just whipping them out, bro. You got them on deck for all the food puns, bro.
Food puns.
That's how we used to freestyle, man. That's our biggest freestyle tape, man. The baloney freestyle, man.
That's the
Fools don't know about that, man. We got on this. Okay, we were freestyling again, real free and abstract, and just anything goes. Somehow we got on this trip where like we're making all these baloney references, and of course it turned into like baloney puns and like who could outdo with the biggest baloney puns, and like we're like I was playing music with Balonius Monk and like so stupid. Oh my god, like it was getting crazy. But anyway, back to
Scheinfeld, or Howie Mandela.
Oh my god, you got a lot of them, bro. You're just killing it. No wonder you're so successful.
But anyways, so everything, as you know, in this day and age in recording, it's amazing because everybody can have a computer and you can record at your house or on your phone or whatever.
Or right here on this couch.
Or if you're over 50 on your iPad, you can take pictures of other people's kids at the park with one of those.
With a big ass iPad. That's not tight, but if you want to do that.
Tinder on it. Yeah, hopefully not.
Tinder on an iPad, just sliding to the left and right.
Exactly.
No, yes.
But you have all this analog equipment that I did an album. I'm thinking of, we all get inspired. We got inspired by your side hustle back in the day. You got inspired by Styles.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I like hearing
inspirations happening all over the place. But I did an album soundtrack to a book with this guy named Gideon Zaretsky, who's now he does all the sound for The Apprentice, the show.
Tight.
But I did an album with him, and I walked into this guy's house, and he had this huge old console in his living room. I'm like, what is this? What? Like I didn't understand it, but I did the album with him, and then I was like, oh, you get like, imagine like all the old equipment is like different paint brushes and textures, and you get a certain warmth and sound out of it. So after that, I wanted to do more music with him, but he wasn't available. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll buy my first little piece of equipment or a mic and that. But then it's a total rabbit hole. You realize that there's like infinitely amazing things that you can obtain with money and use them.
You got the money,
I mean,
I don't even want to know what you paid for that board over there, man. It's crazy.
What's up, dude? What's up, man? Just trying to keep it together. Sometimes I be feeling mad primal, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm an animal. I'm an animal. What? I'm an animal. I'm an animal. I'm an animal. I'm an animal. I'm an animal.
Catch a fat level on the A to D. Qigong, man, I'm a ball of energy. Get more leg than a centipede. Incorporate, babe, I'm a separate entity. If you want to keep my company, put you in a different tax bracket. Money stacking, take a tab of acid and go to the bank. I'm blunt like a shank, that's slicing the white owl. Icing on the cake, time to change your brake pads and throw in the towel. Happy birthday, get your oil changed. Check your cheese up in this mug, and I'm dressed like a rat. But your girl is a duck, and her mom is too. That's a sneak preview. We can do the interview in the expose. Good things take time, like a chocolate souffle. Order beforehand, or you'll get served either way. On every corner like a B of A. Spitting out raps like 20s out the ATM. My shit is money and you'll get torn like an ACL. Never learn your lesson. Turn up the output, apply a bit of soft knee compression, or turn the attack up, make it all gritty. I got mad handles, I can palm a basketball, and 3 sets of titties with my left hand. That's right, with the mic, with a large diaphragm that hits you in the face like a cartoon frying pan. Hey, pumpkin pie, drop a load in your mouth. Shit is hot like fried okra, show up unannounced. I now pronounce you a whack MC. Got one hand in my pants like I'm sitting on the couch, watching Channel Zero, flannel buttoned up at the top. Drinking brews, hanging out with pops. I'm a chip off the old block. There's boots to knock on back order, cause we're out of stock. Market is crashing, no stupid questions, so why you asking? Hide the flask and hit the club like you're beating up on your old lady after 24 years. Happy anniversary, life is crappy and it's supposed to be. We all know that's a bunch of bullshit. Now undo the buckle and you want the honeysuckle with the birds and the bees hanging out in the trees.
I'm an animal. 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 I'm an animal.
Mix the DAW with the analog gear. clear, so there's nothing to fear. Push another one out by the end of the year. But it's all about publicity and magazine covers. Banana magazine in the AK, like it was just yesterday. A slice of cheddar cheese on a warm slice of pie. You're too happy and that's the problem. Witches, warlocks, and ghosts and goblins mumbling incantations at the gas station. People get filled up with all types of nonsense. Secretaries that are typing bomb threats. Highway patrol smoking pipes of ganja. You owe me about 700 bones. Maybe you need that shit more than I do. Bitch slap limericks and drop an infant right out the crib. Always in transit, don't know where you live, and I don't really care. Place the words carefully between the kick and the snare. With permission to tear up a rhyme, rip it up and write the next one right on the wall. Yes, yes, y'all, let's keep it halal. Inshallah, let's roast some peppers and eat foie gras. Laugh at my jokes and say ha ha. Big plump asses and bodacious tatas. The homie never gets love, cause he looks like a cop when he's standing on the block.
I'm an animal. 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 I'm an animal.
This goes out to all you sucker MCs and sucker producers with your soft synths and your wireless mouses. Y'all can eat a cassette tape, cause y'all domesticated, just a bunch of house cats. Believe that.
But I'm saying, like, so I feel real, like, proud of you, dude. Like, all the accomplishments, and like another good aspect too is a lot of times we get hung up on like one thing. So I'm a rapper. Fuck that. I gotta blow up rapping. I gotta make all my money rapping. I gotta have all my success. I'm wrapping up for lack of a better term, all of my everything in that one kind of label or one kind of activity or one kind of whatever. When in any like music business, for example, there's so many different avenues, so many pathways to make money, to create success, to have a business, to blow up, basically. You know what I mean? And so for me, like, looking at you, like, I ran hard in one lane, rapper, for a long time until I remember the time when I finally was like, you know, you're limiting yourself. Like, so how about instead of just saying musician, rapper, you're a musician? Or how about instead of just saying that, like, why don't you just say entertainer? Because that opens up a lot more things that you can do, you know, on and on and on. I feel like that's what you were doing all along. It's like, I'm interested in sound, I'm interested in old gear, I'm interested in blah, blah, blah. So I'll go work in the movie industry, this industry, da-da-da. And because of this long, like, wide network of people that you have, you've been able to kind of design your life the way you want it, man. And we're sitting here in your creation, this room that you built. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's amazing, and I think it's good for people to know that out there too, because you come from a rich, long, like, history in underground rap. People know you. You know what I mean? There's a respect level. There's a history. Like, there's a like legend status that could be attached to you and your accomplishments. But yet you're like, that's cool, that's tight, and I still like making music. That's tight, but I like all this too, and I'm open to it. You know what I mean? I talk to my stepdaughter about that type of shit a lot too. It's like, you don't have to be so focused on one thing. Like, there's, like, I heard who was it talking? I heard an interview with somebody, I can't remember. They're like, basically we're all dashes now. You know, like, you're like producer / sound engineer / whatever, dash this, dash. So, like, nobody's just one thing anymore. And if they are, it's usually not for their whole career. It's like, I did this for 5 years, then this for 10 years, then this for 2 years, then this for 6 months. You know what I mean? And I feel like you've done that very successfully, man. And was that like a deliberate plan, or did you kind of ride the wave?
Well, I mean, if you think about it as an artist, right, you may, let's say if you're a very prolific musician, you may have like 10 albums or, you know. But as a producer, or an engineer, you could work on thousands of albums in your lifetime.
Very true.
And there's a certain neutrality that you have working with other people's music that you will never have with your own music.
Right.
Because you're too close. It's almost like trying to read your Reader's Digest, whatever you're reading, all pushed up in your face. You don't have...
Because we're all reading Reader's Digest. It's like what my grandma used to read,
articles are...
Wow. Reader's Digest. And nobody
These
know what
trout
the
are
fucking Reader's
endangered,
Digest.
aren't they?
Shit. Literally, that's like what I used to see at my grandma's house, bro. The fucking Reader's Digest, bro.
Hey, man, it's good for digestion.
At least you could have been like, if you're reading your article on Complex on your
Your
iPhone.
Maxim, your graphic novel, your Maxim graphic novel there.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to take away from your point, but I was like, damn, yo.
Hey, man, shout out to the snowbirds.
Yo,
Yeah.
yo, when you're reading your highlights, fucking
Yeah, I
up
know.
close.
Your weekly reader.
Okay, what were you saying, man? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But you were just saying, like, it's like trying to read up close when
Yeah, well, working with other people's music, it's basically like, it's all about helping people, producing values for other people, and bringing the best out of people. That's what, whether you're working with yourself or someone else, you're basically helping people use their own energy to bring it to the next level. You're basically a coach.
Yeah, no, for sure,
Right?
100%. And I produce people too, and so I know the experience of that.
Right,
And even just mentioning, like, the idea of bringing value to other people. Again, you're touching on everything you don't even realize that are, like, all the keys to success, man. Like, the idea of helping people and bringing value to people. That's really, like, a huge key to bringing that success in your life. And, like, I've heard so many thought leaders and so many people say the same thing where they're like, help 5 people get, success, and your success happens by default. And, like, the more people you help get successful, like,
help other people make money in there.
Yeah.
They will, or make how can you make people's life easier that you work with? Like, how can you help them make their life easier, and then that's gonna make you successful? That's another.
Yeah, and a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people don't forget. Like, when you do them right, a lot of times they'll reach back for you, whether it's a guy that's on your level or somebody above you. You know what I mean? Or even somebody below you that might jump ahead of you.
That I hate to keep name dropping, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways.
Name drop. Ow, stun on us. Ow.
Whatever. Like, they don't have.
I
to
was
be
sitting with Jay-Z, right? And I had on my boat shoes, whatever. And you just started. No, I'm sorry. Just kidding, bro.
Well, I'm saying successful. They don't have to be famous. But
Right, I know.
For me, I'm working in the entertainment business, so I got to do the sound for Herbie Hancock's master class this year. That was like really cool. But just to see how grounded and humble he was, and approachable, and get an insight into his, him being in his zone, and the things that like one thing he said was, he was referring to me playing jazz, but like, if you make one mistake, just do it more than once, and then it won't be a mistake. It's almost like a freestyle. Like, you mess up and you just play out.
But just go that direction. Like, if you mess up and just keep going that direction, and just you get it back on track, it just seems like that's what was supposed to happen.
But part of the success thing too is trying to think outside the box, which is back to being creative in ways that you may not, that most people don't take. Whatever the rules are, you always have to push that. And not laws, because you can get arrested if you push those, but
not the laws, but the rules.
Right, but
like, in other words, like, don't break the laws, but like, if you're going to sell caffeine pills, no problem. Like, might be breaking the school rules. As long as you're not trying to
sell them as something else.
Yeah.
Because that would be a lookalike drug.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
These are ecstasy, bro, I swear.
Yeah.
These are cocaine pills.
Yeah, exactly.
I swear they're awesome. But yeah, always trying to push the boundaries.
Mm-hmm. I had this, so leading up to this studio, I had a version of this in my house. Shout outs to my lady for tolerating
putting up with
she
that.
Didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
But I was doing sessions. I got I had the console and all the tape and all the microphones, whatever I was doing. I did all the strings to Liam Gallagher, the guy from Oasis's album,
whatever,
BEI, in the house though, like union sessions, like string players come into the house, like, all right, we're here for the session. Is this the right place? And I'm like, yeah, okay.
In your house, dude.
Yeah, in my
house. You had that fat ass board over there, right?
Fat ass board. I had the plate. I got this old plate reverb from Ocean Way. That was in my garage.
Oh my god!
Running under the ground with a conduit. But anyways, part of the reason I have the studio is that the building sold. I was renting, but I got rent control. Mm-hmm. But the building got bought by lawyers. Mm-hmm. So I got tested as far as like
having that stuff in your house.
As far as like building a castle on the sand, that's basically like putting a studio in your rental property.
Yeah.
But without doing that, I wouldn't have been able to
grow.
That's
like a good example then, basically, of like pushing the boundaries and pushing the rules a little.
And then and also like you don't always have to be logical. Sometimes you have to be illogical to actually. Without having the studio in my house, I would have had the confidence to be able to have a commercial spot.
Yeah.
But like also like I'm trying to bring the vibe of my house to the studio. And I'm still like I got like a manager cat that helps me with this kind of business, and he's like, man, you gotta make it more like your house, like gotta make it a little more messy or whatever. Like,
well, there was a vibe or something.
There was a vibe, like, and there are some people who didn't want to record in the studio, so we had like the Misfits rep, which is Jaden Smith's crew. Mm-hmm. They're like, these guys could record anywhere, like, but they wanted to come to my house for some reason.
That's tight.
And then I was like, usually you go to a studio, someone puts a mic in front of you, they're like, all right, stand here, like, don't make any noise, and then like just like do your thing or whatever. But I'm like, you're working with artists. I'm an artist, like, let's do some creative shit. Let's like, tape an artist to the wall or hang them upside down or
see what happens.
Yeah, you could put like some girls, not against their will, but you could put them in the trunk and do overdubs, put microphones in the car, we record.
Not against their will.
Yeah, we go to and then it starts the adventure recording where the lines between what I do location recording and in the studio, sometimes there's an experiential factor that because like things can get familiar, like you're sitting there with your Ableton or whatever, your Fruity Loops, you make a beat, and then you in your room, you're singing or whatever. It's like it's like same old, yeah. But then like imagine like, I mean, we went down with Jaden and those cats to Broad Beach in Malibu. It's sunset. There's porpoises, swimming.
Swimming for the halibut.
For the halibut. Yeah, exactly.
Here we go again, folks.
Barracudas out there.
Nice.
Break dancing. And we're sending them. I'm sending them the track. It was like an overdub session into their headphones with the boom. But now, because there's no mic stand, we're on the beach. That like they're singing. You could stop, sing, jump up on a rock, like start running, and I'm like chasing them, wherever they go.
Yeah.
But then you're hearing the waves in the background. Like, I mean, there's really no limit to like. They're like, can you record us like jumping out of a plane? I'm like, yeah. Like I got like little recorders. You can sync them together. You could do I mean, there's nothing that can't be done. I mean, sometimes it's like, well, why would you do that? And even if you don't actually use it, it's the fact that you did it. It becomes part of the experience.
Yeah.
And that's like, I mean, not just recording, but like if you take that idea and bring it into your life, whatever you're trying to do is if you think too inside the box, you're never gonna develop the playfulness to like inspire yourself and other people to actually, if you got to put your shoe on your hand or, put your hat on your shoulder, then like
do it.
I
like that. And that goes right back to what I said when we first started this conversation, which was when I met you guys, and the whole idea of that freedom to explore and to try stuff and to not be afraid to fail, quote unquote, or to do something that's whack. Like not being afraid to be whack or look maybe a little funky for doing something like, and that is what holds a lot of people back. That doesn't get them to a fucking Neve and SSL and whatever, Mike and up Beyonce or whatever their definitions of whatever is that fear. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, we say it time and time again that it's so cliche, but like, you know, you have to kind of fail your way to the top. You know what I mean? Like, that's
all upwards.
Exactly. But it is a cliche for a reason. You know, the people who aren't afraid to make the mistakes are the ones that get in there, get dirty, get in the mud, and they're the ones who are winning. You know what I mean?
But there's definitely, I mean, I would be interested to, you know, for your insight on this, but it seems like there's people that have varying versions of or ideas of integrity and how, you know, you respect your fellow man and conduct yourself in the world.
Yeah.
Some people are more cutthroat, just take it, like just push their way, stepping on toes, stepping on hands, whatever, to like get to where they want to. But then you're always like looking over your shoulder and in this very like fight or flight sort of defensive way. Yeah. That's never been my style. And sometimes people, you know, push you out of the way to try to get successful. But it always seems like, I mean, reputation, like we're, you know, whether you're an artist like on tour and you get a reputation for like being difficult, or you know,
exactly.
If you're working on TV shows and you get a, you know, whoever you are, like you're never too big or too famous to have a reputation.
Yeah, of course.
And our reputations precede ourselves.
Absolutely.
So like, and it's also like there's always somebody out there that's better, you know, that's more successful, more famous,
or maybe not even better, that can do a better job than, or has a better attitude than you, that people would prefer to work with too. Like their reputation, their good reputation precedes them too. And they're like, fuck that guy, I don't care if he can do, you know, this guy can do it. I'd much rather work with that guy.
And he'll do it for a lot less money too.
Mm-hmm. So I think the idea of what you're saying is very true, that like, just like we said, you can be inauthentic and get success. You can be a complete fucking asshole too and get success. There's a lot of people that show that example. And I think it's like, depends on what you believe, like, or how you define it. Because everyone pretty much believes in it, but it just depends on how you define it. It could be karma, it could be reap what you sow, it could be law of attraction, whatever you believe in. But it's really simple. It's like what you put out is what's going to come back. So if your dominating thoughts and every waking moment is on success, you're going to get success. You know what I mean? But if you're also putting out that other type of energy, negative, cutthroat, stepping on people's toes, that shit's going to come back on you eventually too, in some way or another. It may not come back directly from those people or directly from that situation, but it may result in a very empty life, a lonely life. Okay, I got the money, I got the success, but I don't have the respect of my peers. My family's gone, my whatever. And I think, you know, I think you're like this, I'm like this. Like, I'm not willing to sacrifice that for whatever ideal of success that the world or that other people may portray. You know, success has to be and should be and is a personal thing. Like, what is your success? What do you define as success? Because one guy could be like, I want to be a billionaire. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about being a billionaire. I don't give a shit about that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I do want to make a lot of money, and I do want to be well into six figures and maybe even into millions, but it's a lot less of a priority for me than say happiness is, or living a really good life and having fun and enjoying the people that I love. That's more important to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think you know, it kind of again goes back to the authenticity, and it does go back to your definition of success. People like that, usually their definition of success is pretty narrow. If they're being cutthroat and stepping on people, and they're sort of one-track minded, like they either want the success or they want the title, or both, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's a constant. You have to look at what your motivation is, or what's the driving force.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always asking myself, like, if I'm angry or if I'm worried that whether or not something's going to fall into place.
Yeah.
Then you just have to ask yourself, like, who's worried? Because there's like, you know, like there's basically like this unchanging version of ourselves that lurks like within us. That everything doesn't matter. I mean, nothing matters. Like, if you don't, you don't have to do all these things to be important or to like find happiness or whatever. It's actually like letting go is where the real trick happens. I mean, you know, like if you look at a baby, you don't have to teach a baby how to have a good time. You know, they just come out. They're like,
they're ready to party, bro.
Ready to party, exactly.
Like, you know, God, it's so trippy. So I know, I feel like I relate exactly to what you're saying. Like, so my youngest son, he's 2.5. He has speech delay. So he doesn't really talk a lot, you know. We have him in therapy, and we're, you know, it's so easy to get worried about a situation like that, right? And so we're always like, you know, trying to do all these things to get him to talk. And God, I hope he's going to be okay. And all signs show that he's just a normal kid who just doesn't want to talk or whatever.
Don't rush me.
But it's still like, as a parent, it could weigh on you. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, damn, man, like, why don't you say some shit, man? Come on. Like, you know, and you're worried because you think, is it a bigger problem? Is it this? I was literally, and I'm not kidding, I was meditating, and I was just like thinking and it really dawned on me. I just started thinking about my son. And I realized, like, we're so worried about him talking, this, that, and the other. He ain't fucking worried about that shit at all. Like, he's living his life, bro. That kid is so happy. He plays. He is joyful. He brings everyone else around him joy. He doesn't care if he's saying mama, papa, ball, dog. He doesn't give a shit about that. It's like, why am I so worried about a kid who's extremely happy and who's going to be all right, man? He'll eventually talk. And then the more I realize that, the more it's like, dude, there's so many people that, you know, like.
Well, he probably, I mean, you probably heard of this, but there's like some kind of retreat that you can do where you basically go for a few days, and the whole thing is you're not allowed to talk the whole time.
Yeah, I've heard.
And then at the end of the days, you finally talk, and there's a deep, you know, something that happens because you actually are like,
because you only have your
senses, you only have your thoughts, and the telepathy is real. I mean, you know, like, it doesn't, not like a parlor trick telepathy, but like, actually, I'm sure your son says so much without saying anything.
Oh, for sure. And that's what I was getting out of that too. Like, dude, he's completely communicating to us, you know, whether it's with gestures or like you said, even just vibe. You can feel, I know what you're trying to say. You want fucking milk, or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You it's like, you're right. There is sort of that transfer of like energy or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, where you're just like, I know what this kid wants. He's cool.
Maybe he's just not a rapper. He's a DJ.
Maybe he speaks with his hands, bro. You're right, dude. Then, hey, I'm the rapper. He's the DJ.
The listener, like, that's another. I mean, being a good listener is the key to success too.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
Because it's like, I mean, we all have homies who are just like, when you're talking to them, you can tell that they're just actually like thinking about what they're going to say next versus actually like.
That's so true, and I think most of us are guilty of that.
Sure.
So the gift of really like listening and like taking in what somebody's saying, like, that is something that we all need to learn and develop more. But you're right, there are certain people that it's real natural, and the people tend to like those people right away, and they don't even know why. Like, man, I really like that guy. He's really deep. He guy didn't say shit. He just listened to you. You know what I mean? You're like, that guy's really on another level. You know, it's crazy. Like, you know, he just listened to you talk. But yeah, man, I think that's really, really, really dope. So what's next for you, bro? Where are you going in life, man?
Oh, man. Well,
you got some goals, bro?
Yeah, right now I finished this beautiful studio here, which is like
I got to record something here, bro. Assess, start saving money up right now.
Man.
I got to record something here, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That would
anyway,
be-
I'm sorry. So you got the
Great to have
studio.
you in here, but one of the, with recording music, it's inspiring when you're recording somewhere where a bunch of great records have been made.
Hell
and,
yeah.
I mean, man, Guns N' Roses recorded here.
No doubt.
Appetite for Destruction. Yeah,
They recorded Appetite for Destruction here.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting in the studio where Guns N' Roses. If you don't know who that fucking is, just turn my podcast out now. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, like, that's crazy. And I saw the No Doubt out there.
Yeah, No Doubt.
Tragic Kingdom was recorded here.
All the old
it's crazy, bro.
all the old-
Don't Speak was recorded here.
punk rock stuff, the SST records, so Black Flag, The Descendants, Minutemen,
So much history in this
Dokken,
place.
Dio,
Dokken.
Pennywise.
That's history, man.
I know.
So you're working out of here, man, and you're doing
Working out of here, and then
you work for yourself, right?
I work for myself. I'm also I've been working on doing sound on an IMAX movie about the Strata launch, which is the largest jet ever created by Paul Allen. That's gonna be basically like a Uber for satellites, take them up to space. American Idol's coming back, so I'm probably gonna work on that in some capacity. And I'm doing a sound travel show for Netflix too, called Fight World. So I get to go to next week. Week after next, I'm going to Myanmar and Thailand, and then we're going to Mexico City. We're going to shoot in the prisons in Mexico City, boxing league, and then we're going to Senegal. Then we're going to Brazil and Dagestan, where I couldn't point it out on a map. I'm sure most Americans probably couldn't point out if you can point out Dagestan on the map,
you're a G.
You're a true G.
Or
It's
you
right
have too
near
much time.
Chechnya.
That just reminds me of like every like spy movie. It's like, we're going after the Chechnyans.
Yeah.
We are from Chechnya. Give us the plans.
Give us the microfilm.
Give us the microfilm. We take it back to Chechnya.
Yeah. You smell so pretty.
Oh shit. So yeah, man, you got a lot coming up, man. It's a lot. How about, are you doing any music these days, like your own personal music?
The latest thing that I did on my own was I did a song, anti-Trump song that was in the 30 days, 30 songs thing, whatever. It had like Weezer and R.E.M. and Moby
and
you,
me. Bro, as Kamal or as Radioinactive?
As Radioinactive, yeah.
Dope.
And then I had the singer Sheila Brody. She was in the Brides of Funkenstein.
Oh,
and
nice.
Mary Jane Girls, Parliament, P-Funk Family. Had
That's
her on
sick.
there with me, but yeah, I've been enjoying producing other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Been working with this kid Teo Arias, which is in Jaden Smith's crew. He was on that Disney show Kicking It. Real talented kid, man. He's
dope, man.
Yeah, he's
got a
doing some
lot of
artsy stuff, but I'd like to put out another Radioinactive album.
Yeah,
I'm like,
man.
I want to do like the hip hop pet sounds.
Oh shit! You
I
got the place
I
for
got
it,
the
bro.
place, yeah.
You could get real loose in here. It's gonna take. You're never gonna put it out like Homeboy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna do it live in like 30 years, but I'm never gonna actually put it out
Exactly.
as a record. It's like, what?
We need more bassoons.
Oh man,
These aren't the right bassoons.
That's
Gold
hilarious.
bassoons.
Well, shit, man. I mean, we could be here all night. There's like a wealth of like knowledge and wisdom that you got, but if people have questions or they want to reach you or find out more about you, like how can they find you, man? How can we get in touch with you? Like your Instagram,
Hit
Twitter.
me on Squarespace. Just send me money, and I'll just get it.
Pull up my
PayPal. No, you can hit me on. You can go back in time to 2006. Hit me on MySpace.
That's what's up, bro. Radioinactive
Facebook,
/ MySpace.
Radioinactive. Twitter.
Is it all Radioinactive or you're Kamal Humphreys on Instagram, right?
Yeah, Kamal Sound. You can follow
Kamal
me there.
Sound. Yeah.
The whole branding thing, I think I would be better at it if Instagram, if it was easier to switch between your different
It is now.
Yeah, exactly. If I update my Instagram.
You might want to update your Instagram, bro. Come on.
When I get rid of this iPhone 3.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding.
When I get rid of this,
I got a 6
iPhone original.
I'm just being sarcastic.
Well, yeah, man. So at Kamal Sound.
At Kamal Sound.
That's a good way to reach you. And yeah, so if you guys know that how to reach me at Cookbook the PR on all platforms, because I know a little bit about branding.
I think we're gonna spin this off into a video podcast. We're gonna come out of the studio here.
Oh, let's do it,
musical
bro.
guest.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Why not?
But so yeah, hit me up, or if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, etc., you can always email me, cookbookings@gmail.com.
Just send this guy money, man.
That's right, bro. If you want to get coached by me, or you want a consultation for your music, I help people set their goals. I help them put marketing plans together. I help them understand how to be a deliberate creator. All of that stuff, man. Cookbookings@gmail.com is where to hit me. And the first session, Kamal, is always free. Can you imagine? A whole free hour of consultation.
Pusher, right?
I mean, come
That's
on,
a
man.
classic.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, man, this is really, though, man, another great episode. Freaking amazing. I'm so glad. You guys don't even know, I'm probably going to end up staying here another 2 hours, bro, because this is an old school homie of mine, man. We go way
Yeah, no, we got
back.
stories, man. I can't say enough good things about Cookbook too. He's always just been like such a bright, star.
Thanks,
open. Bro. I mean, man, I remember your dad and the clarinet.
Yeah, man. My dad in every instrument, pretty much.
Your dad, the PR.
Yeah, he's the OG PR.
The OG PR.
It's like Cookbook the PR, and then really Phil Soto the PR, And yo, Kamal will be back really soon, my man Radioinactive, because he's gonna be on an episode of Stereotypes too, coming up real soon on 2Mex Hologram Radio. You guys can always check out 2Mex Hologram Radio at 2mexhologram.com or the TuneIn app. And my show comes on Thursdays, 8 to 10. On 2Mex Hologram Radio, bro. And he's going to be on it soon on the Stereotypes. Oh. But anyway, this is really, though. And we'll catch you next time, bros and sisters. Peace.
Really though. 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 Really though.